Yeah, and what you see once
Oh,
again Pertami do is he opens up a pathway with his first rocket so that the second rocket can hit a wall behind it. This is really pretty well played and something most level 6 people definitely wouldn't have thought of.
that's true. But we should probably talk a little bit about the timings. I don't know the skill level or just basic game mechanics knowledge level of the people that are watching right now, but one important thing to know about the rocket launchers is that they are on a 5-second cooldown, meaning they can only fire every 5 seconds. And so, because of this, for the most part, you want to be firing at the beginning of turns.
Yeah,
Every time you stray from firing at the very beginning of turns, you become more and more stuck into a pattern in which you have to fire
Firing predictable
mid-turn.
rockets. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Of course, on turn 1 they really couldn't fire at the start of the turn due to how they were positioned.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, that's why I often don't fire any explosives on the first turn, because if you try, you're generally limited to firing at the end of the turn, and then you're stuck. Another thing about turn 2 is you can see Slobovich. He moves his rocket out to a reasonable place and fires a rocket, but then he just leaves his rocket standing out there, and it ends up getting gunned down. Uh, it seems like a lot of time it's easy to forget, or to only focus on getting your rocket to where he can fire, but you got to keep him moving after that too, or there's
Yeah,
a good chance he'll
and
end up in
it's
poor position.
very important to have him ready on the next turn to fire,
Yeah.
so it should be very close to a firing position.
Yeah, what Slabovich could have done in order to avoid that rocket getting taken out is he could have moved to fire him. I think this would be ideal. He could have moved to fire him just as he did, but then immediately pull him back along that wall, set a wait timer such that he comes out at the very end of the turn and is ready to fire again. This is just a sort of a useful thing. In particular, when your rockets are behind cover, they can duck, wait, and then you can have them such that they stand up right at the end of the turn.
Yeah.
That way, you're prepared to fire at the very beginning of the next turn.
Aye.
Right,
Aye.
let's play the next turn then. Yeah, and yeah, he fires off another 2 rockets. This is really late in the turn as for
But yeah, both of
the
those rockets, it's very easy for Slobovich to predict where they're going and what they're going to do.
yeah, but
So,
for this one at least, if there had been an enemy unit there, it couldn't have avoided that, but this one can easily be avoided.
right.
And yeah, the same happens with Slobovich, he fires really late.
However, as you see, when you do go on to the next turn, Slobovich could easily avoid that rocket that is heading towards his number 2 MG,
Yeah, but not
he
the
doesn't.
bottom one if there
He
had...
does not do so. He should have hit continue on sight and had him run probably backwards. But
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
lets him continue engaging, and that's all for that MG.
Yeah, and yeah, on the next turn, yeah, Pertemit meanwhile sends off another 2 rockets down to the corner, and yeah, they can be avoided, but they cover a pretty large area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if those were unavoidable, just given the slowness of the rocket launcher.
Well, it might be safe if it runs straight up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that
you're right.
would have saved it.
Yeah, well, let's just see what happens in the last turn. And yeah, it doesn't even try to avoid the rocket, so really part of the problem in this match really is that Slobovich isn't playing very well.
I wonder if he was even simulating his turns before he committed. because those last two kills I think could have both been avoided if he had just kept simulating until he was able to get his units out of the way of the explosions.
And yeah, Partemet aimed his rockets really well, but he timed them pretty badly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So up against a better player, he might still have lost, even though the aim of his rockets was pretty good.
Yeah, the timing was definitely not the kind of thing that you see out of an experienced player, but it was a sort of an interesting match nonetheless. Kind of fun.
Explosions are always fun.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, up next we have 3 games from one of the DGLs by Score Graphic.
Yeah, I thought these games were pretty fun.
For some reason, Frozen Synapse doesn't seem to like the Norwegian numpad. What's different about it? I have no idea, but it just doesn't like it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, all these 3 matches are versus Acme. I think this was something like round 3 or something of DGL 9, but I'm not quite sure. Right.
And in this match, unlike a lot of other secure games, really minimal bidding.
Yeah,
they
no
each bid on 1 square.
Yeah. You don't really want to win.
They both wanted to be the attacker on this one, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it's just lucky for Acme that Score Graphic doesn't have a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely. Or a grenade, either.
Yeah.
If Score Graphic had had a grenade, this would have been a very different game.
Yeah. Let's play the
Yeah.
first turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this first turn, Score Graphic really doesn't do much, but of course, almost everything would be risky. He could have avoided that death from the grenade, really.
If he'd been psychic, yeah.
Oh goodness,
Yeah,
he doesn't.
but that grenade was fired immediately, so that's definitely something that could have been predicted, as he knew exactly when it could first explode.
Yeah, and this is, you know, this is such an imbalanced map. From what I can see, Acme doesn't even have an MG. He has 2 snipers, a rocket, and a grenade. This is a very winnable map for Score Graphic. I think it's probably just, well, with proper play, I think it's probably a loss for Acme.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, all of Acme's units are basically supporting units, and he has to defend this area, so it's pretty rough for him at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see how the next round goes. Oof. Acme
Yeah.
doesn't do very well with his units and manages to lose 1 and possibly 2, depending on what happens next round.
Personally, with all those supporting units, I would have felt really nervous standing in that tiny area. I probably would have tried to sprint a sniper at least over to the right.
Yeah, I would have spread out as well.
Yeah,
That's just
and
an awkward place to be stuck right there.
yeah, and he aims his snipers pretty badly, I'd say. He had a grenade covering the left flank here, so he could have just had the cone of aim stop at this doorway here right to the left of the snipers.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why this is happening. Well, why 2 units are being lost here is because
Yeah.
neither sniper has sight of
Yeah,
the
had
number
both
3 MG.
snipers had sight of MG3, then both the sniper and the MG3 would have died most likely.
And it looks like Score Graphic was actually expecting Acme to send his sniper over to the left. He pulls his MG back a little bit. He plays conservatively on the left side there.
Yeah. Of course, if the sniper actually had gone out on the left, that MG would probably have been dead anyway.
That's true. Yeah, head on to turn 3.
Yeah.
I like this. Score Graphic decides to get all aggressive over there with that left MG,
And fails miserably.
and boom.
Oh yeah. Wow, nice job from Acme though with the defense. I mean, given that he is doing some things that we wouldn't necessarily agree with.
That was a well-placed grenade.
Yeah, it was
It
very well
covers a
placed.
lot of area that Score Graphic needs to approach. So that grenade was really well placed.
Yeah. On the other hand, he does manage to lose another 2 units.
It's true.
Sorry, I kinda have to sneeze.
And from this point, it's pretty downhill. Acme has one grenade left to keep away 2 direct fire units, so
Yeah.
it's pretty rough.
Of course, at this point, Score Graphic can't get into the zone on time really, so he has to kill that grenade launcher. This is the beginning of the 6th and last turn. And yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, Acme
Sorry.
does really well and thus wins.
Wow. Man, is Acme here? I don't think he is. He would be on IRC.
Yeah, and Score
Man, that
Graphic.
was such a good move.
Yeah, Score Graphic though should have timed his MG better here really, since, well, according to testing he should have known he couldn't reach the zone on time. So why it's on continue of sight, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, I don't know. Well, the thing is though, is that on turn 6, you can't just kill the guy.
That's true.
He had
Turn
lost
6,
already.
you gotta get in
Really.
the zone.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had lost already, but really, there's no point in still having continue on sight of after entering the zone.
Yeah, about his only shot was either having on turn
Well, no.
5. He should have had his sniper run up the middle of the building, or he should have had his MG continue on sight to get closer, because both of his units were just too far away come turn 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's head on to the next game.
Very impressive. Wow. Acme just bought the game too. I mean, he's been around for what, 2 weeks, taking out Score Graphic. Not bad.
Well, let's just check.
I mean, I think he showed up in IRC about 2 weeks ago.
Well,
Really
we,
nice guy,
we
by the
should
way.
know in a moment when he bought the game at least. If Shapeform will just respond.
Shapeform.
Yeah.
I guess we'll never know.
Never ever. Well, once I enter the next game, we'll see how many wins and losses he has anyway. So
That's
that
true.
will give us some point at least if it will just actually search for the game.
Yeah, I'm having the same problem here.
Yeah. UK1 is supposed to be stable now, but apparently not quite perfect yet.
How many people are on right now? I think there were
There,
only
finally.
300 players when I went online. But
I think there's a bit more than that at the moment, but I'm not gonna check now that the game has
no.
almost loaded. Yeah, now it's wasting time on loading duplicate results, of course.
Yeah, and telling you that you sent the. Yep.
Yeah, and
telling you
also
you sent
telling me that Total Biscuit just uploaded some video. Of course that wasn't FS, but still. Right. This is Dark Disputed.
It looks like
yeah,
Acme
Acme's
has
level 20.
110 games at the moment.
Yeah, and it's level 22, so he's played for a while at least.
Ah.
and
It's true.
Level
It looks
22
like
is plenty to
Score
be
Graphic
experienced.
is rated 384th, and Acme is 118th globally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
So-
nicely played.
I must have just got that impression because he just recently started to be like an active person in the IRC chat.
Yeah.
At least as far as I know.
Yeah, as far as I know as well. Any comments about the unit composition?
Well, you prefer the shotgun.
If yeah, I love the shotgun, but if the boxes appear down at that bottom half down there, the sniper's pretty powerful.
Definitely.
That's true, but as
But-
long as there's enough cover, you can just
Right.
Yeah.
Go around with
Could,
that
could
shotgun.
duck his units.
Yeah,
just
the
box to
sniper
box,
can't really kill a shotgunner advancing over there due to the sheer amount of cover to duck behind. But an MG could, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely take the shotgun. However, if I remember correctly, Scoregraphic is not nearly as aggressive with his units as I probably would have been. So
What a neat map too, because what he can do, I mean, Scoregraphic can try and take those buildings in the middle top area, and sort of do a kind of semi-flanking maneuver.
Yeah.
I probably would have sent the shotgun just at least one or two rooms per turn. Have him just run all the way down. Yeah.
Yeah, just have him run as fast as possible.
Yeah. So,
Alright,
yeah,
yeah.
due to that shotgun, it's very hard for Acme to actually get a hold of anything in the top area. As
Yeah.
if he's to run straight up with an MG, an SG can probably reach him in time to kill him before he manages to get behind cover or something. Yeah, let's play turn 1. Yeah, Scoregraphic doesn't go quite like I would have, but that way really works as well.
Yeah, that's everything's fine.
I would have run. I would have tried
Yeah,
to get
Saracon,
MG to
it's from
a little bit
DGL 9, I think. Round 3 or something.
I would have tried that machine gunner on the left, number 2, down a little bit lower, so he could actually scout usefully through the window. But
He might have only been able to go that far. Well,
no,
actually,
I did check. He started aiming
stopped.
pretty early, so his guy ran up to the window really slowly.
Yeah. What do you think about Acme's decision with the number 1? I personally would feel like.
That would have made me really nervous against a shotgun.
Yeah, exactly.
It really depends on where he goes next. If he just stands out here in the open, he can stand far enough away to catch an incoming shotgun, as long as he doesn't manage to get scouted first and thus beaten by an MG. And with Scoregraphic's current MG situation, he can't use his MGs to counter that MG. Or he could maybe run MG1 up, but then he'd of course have to know about that MG, which he almost certainly doesn't at the moment.
Yeah, sort of interesting. Well, we'll see. Let's check out turn 2, unless someone else has something to say.
No, turn 2 is pretty good.
Well, Acme decides to go behind cover there. That's really risky, as an SG can just go around that wall to kill him. And yeah, if the SG runs into that room now, well, if he's not careful, he'll get picked off by the second MG, of course, but still.
But obviously a poor idea on the part of Scoregraphic to send his MG there and not do, if I had wanted to do exactly what he did, you just put the ignore order on the sniper and
and
have
just
him
move out.
cross window. Yeah.
Once even on the first turn, a lot of times you'll have continue on site for all of your MGs because you need them to get into position without getting distracted. But then once you are ready for them to engage from behind cover, if there are any snipers on the opposing team, you probably want to specifically ignore them, so that your guys will move on unless they actually have a unit they have a shot against, and you don't have a shot against a sniper when you're firing from that far away.
Yeah.
I don't like Acme's position at the moment, as he really can get easily picked off by that shotgunner.
Yeah.
I think, at least.
I was kind of surprised that Scoregraphic just ran his shotgun into the corner, but I guess he was guessing that Acme would play aggressively with his machine gunners.
I guess.
I don't know. But
Well,
now it looks like he might be in a position where if Acme doesn't move and he runs the shotgun into that room, I think it'll probably be a trade, right?
well, if he just runs in, kills MG3 and runs back, he should then be able to run back into the room again and get around this wall over on the right to kill the MG1. Of course,
Obviously,
that
we can't simulate
necessitates
it.
that he knows about those MGs, or at least suspects where they might be.
Yeah, and the kill time on number 1 might be fast enough. You know, the shotgun does have to stop to take out the number 3 unit, which is behind cover. So it might not be enough for him to do what you're suggesting, which is to do the ignore, move, and then switch and move. You know?
Yeah, but I think there should be time, probably, since shotguns have a really short time to kill.
Well,
Well,
Man,
we'll find out
let's
in a
see.
moment. Let's
Yeah,
just...
3.
Yeah.
turn 3.
Huh.
Oh, he doesn't.
He doesn't even move his shotgunner, which seems strange.
There's just a lot of standing around. They are both scared of each other here.
Yeah, they're
Well-
playing way too defensively for my tastes.
I think Acme's doing fine because as of right now, if you just think about the territory that he has, I mean it's far more.
Yeah, definitely. That I agree on. But still, I think they're a bit too passive.
Yeah, well, I think
Score
MG1 is left really vulnerable right there. I mean, a shotgun played aggressively could wipe MG number 1 out pretty fast.
Yeah. All they
Yeah.
need to do is run up at an angle and then down so that he gets the drop on it around the corner.
Yeah. All right, turn 4.
Yep. They still play pretty defensively. Acme
More
tries-
standing around from score graphic.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a strange decision of Acme to move his bottom MG there, as he's now far away from most of the center, and
Yeah, that is strange.
picking up boxes with a sniper is seldom a good idea.
And
Well, with the-
Personally, it just hurt me a little bit inside to see that shotgun standing there for so long.
Oh,
not,
it hurts me so much.
Yeah.
not running around and killing MGs, which is
yeah,
what
it
shotguns
goes
were born
against
to do.
yeah, it goes against the nature of shotgunners.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
But, so they pretty much spent the last 2 turns sitting around waiting for the boxes to show up, which, all right, there you go.
Yeah,
There-
and now they do, and surprise, surprise, you know, Acme is in, well, a much better position to grab the boxes.
if only because he's got the extra unit he can run around with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but of course, if Acme hadn't run his MG3 over there, he would have been in an even better position to grab those boxes.
Yeah.
Had his MG3 been further down, it could easily grab 2 boxes by itself and then run off, while the top MG could grab that top box and run off, easily granting Acme a victory.
Mhm.
Of-
And you know what's funny too is I'm surprised he's even left the number 2 MG there, because all the while Acme could have just moved the sniper to get the proper angle and won, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Interesting.
yeah. Let's
Anyway,
play the next
Yeah.
turn. And yeah, Acme just takes one of the boxes, or 2 rather, and Score
And-
Graphic doesn't even take a single box, strangely enough.
yeah, but
Score graphic waited until after the boxes appeared to scout with his MG on the left.
Yeah,
That's
he should have done some scouting earlier.
probably
this will be interesting because do you think the sniper can see over the cover and see the... It looks like he can't because it's not aimed at him.
Probably not, but
Yeah.
it can slow down that MG enough that it can't really do anything of use.
Right.
But that shotgunner on the right is now a major threat.
Right.
Yeah. Spoiler. This next turn is really hilarious.
Well,
Okay,
let's
well,
just
let's
play
play it.
them. Ah, yeah, a shotgun actually getting sniped within SG range. That must be a first.
Oh, I thought that was just hilarious. And he
Oh,
almost
my.
gets the sniper too.
So what's the situation here now? It looks
He
like, as far as the boxes are concerned, Acme's got one in his pocket, right?
Yeah.
he actually ran it out that same turn, which I probably would have kept that MG around to try to do something with, but he wanted to collect that box as quickly as possible, so he just ran him out on the right side.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
I
is something.
think
Actually, in my recent match against Malfunction, he did this. He did this in our disputed game, which is that he just waited with all his units at very safe locations until he was ready to move out. I think that's the best idea. I mean,
Yeah, better
ideally,
than
you'd like to do that.
yeah, as opposed to preemptively just removing your unit from the game permanently.
Right. And now, well, this is.
Now it's sniper versus MG.
yeah. So I said Score Graphic has the advantage now, even though Acme has a box.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Yeah, Score Graphic is way too passive with that MG, but I'd say it
Yeah.
still has an advantage, I guess.
I probably would have tried to do the whole duck stand, duck stand, duck stand thing to move it forward quicker and hopefully distract the sniper, keep him from running around quickly. But it wouldn't have mattered because Acme has a sniper on continue on side anyway.
Yeah. Turn 8 done. And yeah,
Oh.
the best bit is, of course,
Oh.
the sniper dies right before escaping, thus leading a Score Graphic to winning instead of it being a draw.
Right. Wow, what a match.
That was so close. If only the sniper had stood up, that would have been Acme's game.
Yeah.
Actually, it did stand up, but if it had run at a different angle, then it would have managed
No.
to escape, especially if it had ducked.
That's right, he was stood up. That's my bad.
So yeah, last game then?
Yeah.
Sure.
Ooh, this time it actually loads instantly. And now it's charge. Right, here we've got equal teams, but of course not equal map sides. Yeah, both teams have 2 MGs and a grenade launcher. Grenade launchers are pretty interesting in charge as they can be used very usefully on some maps, as they can then block off entire passages of attack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
you can
very good for
deny
defense.
whole sections of the bid line if you do it right.
Yeah. I don't think I would have bid quite that aggressively due to the grenades, as they make it much harder to advance fast.
Yeah, maybe if I'd had a shotgun.
Yeah, if I
Well,
had a
yeah.
shotgun I might have bid that aggressively, but neither player has one.
Yeah. Oh well. This one ends in 4 turns apparently. So
Well, let's play the first turn.
yeah.
Yeah, they focus on positioning first, and well, Acme doesn't do a good job preventing his units from getting seen.
But Score Graphic doesn't do a good job of actually getting line of sight to them either. Personally, I think that number 2
Well-
should have stood up and looked through the window instead of
Well, he
Yeah.
scouted most of the upper area with this grenade launcher, I think, looking through that window, so he probably knows where both that MG and grenade launcher is.
I suppose so, yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of a difficult sort of impasse you get to, in particular in games like Charge, where you're thinking about either hiding the position of your units, or scouting? Because generally, we know when you scout, you're also seen.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
when you use one unit to see 3 enemies.
Right.
True enough.
Which it looks like that's what sort of Score Graphic did, right?
I
mean,
think
well,
he
not
only
to see
saw the
3.
top 3. Had he run a bit
Right.
higher up, he would have seen the bottom MG as well, and thus
Yeah,
have
so
far superior intel.
Score Graphic doesn't know where Acme's lower MG is, and Acme doesn't know where either of Score Graphic's MGs are.
Yeah,
would
so recon
All right, here's a question for you
Score
guys.
Graphic has a slight advantage.
Here's a question for you guys: if the green number 1 MG and the red number 3 MG both race to cover on this next turn, who wins?
I think Score Graphics machine gun is closer to cover. I think.
Yeah, but
Oh, you're talking about having the Acme's MG run inside that building and fire from the window?
I'm talking about Yeah, run inside the building and look through the window. And I'm just curious because
Well, if both manage to aim properly, then it would really depend on what the game told it to say. Pretty much, it would be equal advantages if both aim moved in and thus got mutual line of sight while both aiming.
But number 1 might even be able to get the stillness advantage if it doesn't go right up to the window. Anyway,
Yeah, it would depend on which one, if one of them waited a while to start aiming,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, Score Graphic could just stop right over this corner here, and then he'd have a stillness advantage and thus win in that situation. But of course it would generally be a waste of time, as positionally here on the bottom isn't that great for Acme.
Nah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, he could couple it with the MG and then run somebody down there, but that's not in the near future would that be a part of your plans, because as soon as you run down there, you're going to be seen. So,
yeah.
Anyway, let's just look at turn 2.
Yep.
Sorry for old enough to show there.
And yeah, some pretty well fired grenades really. Both block off large pots.
Yep.
I think if I were Score Graphic, I'd aim that grenade a bit lower down so as to block off a bit more, but it really doesn't make much of a difference either way.
Why do you think number 2 is ducked? Why do you think that's confusing to me?
Probably for the reason that we saw right there. I think the ducking probably saved him from that grenade.
Well, where that grenade is, it didn't have a line of sight, so to say. The wall was in the way, but had it been further down, it could probably have been killed a standing MG behind that cover there.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
thus ducking
right.
there was really the right thing to do, even though it didn't make any difference in this situation.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agreed.
As to the position of the bottom MGs, in my opinion, both of them are a bit too passive, really.
Oh, over turn 3?
Over turn 2.
Oh, turn 2. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, Acme can somewhat afford to be passive, but Score Graphic needs to get to that line on time, and that's hard to achieve when you're playing so passively.
It's true.
But, of course, since the game ends on turn 4, that doesn't matter much either way. But, yeah, let's just play turn 3 and see how it goes.
Oh, yeah, on turn 3 we see Acme be extremely aggressive.
Extremely. Oh,
with
no!
His MG.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, the grenade
that was funny because he was so well positioned, and I don't know.
Yeah, the grenade there is well placed, but way too late. As Score Graphic can now just duck out of damage way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sorry,
had that gone, had that gone off right at the end of turn 3, that would have gotten Score Graphics MG, but it was
bad
way
grenade
too late,
timing,
really.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and really with his position, Acme could have timed that earlier. He could have run a bit straighter up and thus fired earlier, for example. Or he could have bounced it off a wall.
Alright, well, you want to play turn 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, the final turn.
I'm quite interested in
And
this.
yeah, Score Graphic now does pretty badly with his MG and managed to get it killed, but he does a really well placed grenade and thus kills the last 2 enemy units.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
to note about the kill that happens there at the beginning of turn 4. Score Graphics number 2 MG dies. I'm sure that when he was simulating it, when Score Graphic was simulating, he was able to get his MG out of the way, but he didn't turn on continue on site, and so his unit paused to take a look at the number 1 MG that Acme had, and
Actually,
that
he
resulted
used continue on site, but he cancelled it too early.
with a name. Yeah.
Yeah. I really think this game was... It's so funny. You know, usually I'm critiquing players for their passivity. But I think this game, he like turn 2, he was in such a great position. I wouldn't have moved much.
Yeah.
Score Graphic or Acme?
Acme.
Acme,
Oh,
he was
yeah,
in
yeah.
like perfect defensive position. The number 1 MG was you know, holding down that room, and I mean, he would have to do something with the number 3 at the bottom, but you know, it's
I think
all
Acme
units
was
spread out
expecting grenades to land inside of that room at the top instead of go behind it. He was expecting Score Graphic to try to clear that top room with his grenade, and instead Score Graphic fired back behind it. It was a
Yeah,
good,
but we're
good call
talking
there.
about turn 3 where Acme suddenly decides to go very aggressive.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, that's basically what led to his downfall in this case. As yeah, he basically knew that Score Graphics grenade launcher wasn't within range to be really Annie's big sort of threat for his top units, I think.
Yeah, I would have thought the same thing. That the grenade wouldn't have been in range to be any sort of threat.
Well, it's in range, but
Well,
ducking behind that cover easily prevents anything like that.
Well, nice game anyway.
Yeah.